hold on, my dog is digging really loudly under this table. It's carpet. She's trying to dig a hole to China or something.
Hey everyone, welcome to WitchSlapped. This is PopWire's AfterShow for SYFY's original series, Revival. My name is Dani.
And I'm Christina.
And we have a crazy episode to talk about. Christina, will you tell us what it's about?
Yeah, so today we are talking about episode 109, which is titled Mother of Babylon. And it's described as follows. Dana and Wayne race to free the revivers as Em faces a haunting fight for her life. The episode is written by Noel Carbone and directed by Samir Rahim. And
so much to talk about.
There is so much to talk about. First, I do want to say just a quick apology that we didn't get this out right after the episode. We are regular people who have regular jobs and schedules, and just scheduling and sometimes gets a little difficult to get them out right on time. But here we are, making it work.
Yeah. And it didn't help that I was out sick. So apologies, everybody. But better late than never, because this is the penultimate episode of the season, second to last, and it is setting up a crazy finale. So let's start off with your Who Said It. In this segment, Christina's going to give us a Who Said It, a quote, basically from the episode, and then we'll give you guys a few seconds to figure out who you think said the quote in the episode. Put your answer in the comments below, and then we will reveal the answer.
All right. So my Who Said It is, finish what you started.
Finish what you started. That is not ringing any bells for me. And I just watched the episode twice today.
Hold on. I feel like without context, it could be something that so many characters would say in this episode.
Yeah, seriously. So finish what you started. Can I get a hint?
It's between two female partners.
I'm lost. All right, who said it?
Well, it was May to Dana talking about Blaine.
Oh my God, yes. At the sheriff's department.
After they tracked the money, and Dana's like, I don't think he did this, but because of Rose, May really just wants whatever Blaine is up to, get him taken down for it. So, yeah. I feel like, I wanted to get something a little bit more obscure for, the penultimate episode.
Yeah, that's an important quote, too, because right now, Blaine is in custody, and back at home, he has a militia that is getting ready to storm the facility. And then later on in the episode, he escapes, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happens? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good.
So much happens in it. Yeah. Right? It's hard to remember how much, because it was so much in one episode. It's like, was that really all in 42 minutes? But it really was.
Yeah. I had to write so many notes because, like, when we get to the big theory stuff and the favorite moments in the episode, there's a lot.
Yeah.
That being said, the way that it was written, it all works. It didn't feel like too much, right? It was all very fluent. It was fluent.
I feel like the timing and the pacing of it was really well. It wasn't all at once. It was in layers throughout the episode. So you weren't, like you said, overwhelmed with all the information at once. You had time to process and think about it before you got more information.
Yeah, totally. All right. So speaking of favorite moments, let's start talking about them. Do you want to start?
Sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we picked the same one just because it was a really big moment. But mine's going to be with Em and Nithya and Patty. That scene, I don't know what Romy did, how Romy got there, but I had chills. I was tearing up. I literally had full body chills just watching. Like, it was incredible. It was powerful. It was emotional and raw. And it gave us so much insight into Em's guilt that she's been harboring for the last 2 years.
Yes, totally. I second that. That was my top favorite moment. A couple other descriptors I would throw out there is haunting, visceral. Like, it was so emotional watching her try to fight through this image of her mom who was trying to quiet her. And oh God, it was like a punch to the gut. But when she finally broke through, I don't know about you, but I like felt the relief.
Oh yeah.
The M felt. Romy did an amazing job in that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful scene of the season, I feel like, so far. Well, especially because earlier in the episode, we also see her say something along the lines of, please don't leave me again. And we don't know if she's talking to Patty or to Rhodey about it. So it's this tie of she wants her mom there because she's been missing her, but then she also wants to fight through this and work through this guilt to get rid of it and be able to move on with her life. And it just the dichotomy of that is so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Another favorite I'm going to throw out there. It was a very quick little scene, but we see Dana with a cup of coffee. She takes a drink of the coffee and she asks her dad, "Do we have any whiskey for this coffee?" And I felt like it was a nod to Winona Earp. I don't know about you, but I saw that and I was like, "Oh, Winona."
That was literally my first. Yeah.
I thought that was really cute. Um, I don't know if it was actually a nod or not, but yeah, it was cool.
I will say I was live tweeting the episode and a lot of fans saw that too and were like,
Oh,
"Oh,
really?
Hannah?" Yeah, so a lot of people definitely feel like it was Mel giving a little nod. Whether it was or not, it also could have been Noelle. Noelle wrote on Winona as well, so
Okay. Yeah.
it could have been either of them or it could have just been that's also Dana. I feel like Winona and Dana do have a lot of similarities, so it's hard to tell what is a nod to that show and what is truly Dana.
Yeah, right, right. Um, okay. So I think we can start talking about big moments and theories. Um, I'm gonna bring up the passengers. There's a moment where we see a passenger starting to emerge from Moore Creek. And luckily someone was there to start shooting Blaine's henchman, who I actually think is Uncle Don, protecting the creek, protecting the land.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about who it was, but that would make complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that would be my first guess. But I think the theory that I might have right now is that passengers, they emerge once the person that they are attached to is ready to move on to the afterlife. Like, so whoever's reviver it belongs to, or has, a connection with, that's when they emerge. And it makes me wonder, like, who are we going to be seeing leaving next? Um, I think it's probably significant that we're seeing one finally emerge and it is probably attached to someone that we, the viewers, have an attachment to. That would be my guess.
Yeah. No, I would definitely agree with that. And I think we definitely got confirmation this episode that there is a passenger for each reviver, that there isn't just one. I forget who said that in I think the last episode or 2 episodes ago when we were talking theories, but somebody definitely brought that up. It is either you or Bradley.
Right. Yeah, it was we were talking about it because in that video taken by Blaine of Wanda being given to what he was calling the angel, and she kept saying, "That's not mine. That is not mine." So I think that's kind of where we made that connection.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's pretty much confirmed in this episode, which is really cool. Because at first, I definitely thought it was just one passenger. So now to find out that there's literally one for every reviver, and I think your theory is correct that they emerge from the creek once the other part of their being or whatever is ready to move. Whenever it's unfinished business or whatever it is that they are here to accomplish and came back to accomplish. So I think you're right for sure.
Hope so.
Yeah. I also want to talk about M's death triggered Revival Day. So
Yeah.
that's a big, big reveal. I would assume that explains why she's healing faster and has all those more powerful abilities, like they said in the beginning of the episode, why she had to be in that strong cage with all the chains and everything. But I'm still so curious why M? How did that happen? I still don't know what happened. We know something creek happened and she died, and apparently a big, blasting light happened. Whether that was before or after she died, we don't know exactly, but
yeah. Yeah, I still I'm still sticking to the theory that it might be ritual based.
yeah. Oh, I
Like,
definitely thought. I think it's very
yeah,
cult-like.
right. And I
But
think, there's got to be some sort of connection to the water and the land that it happens on. Because as we know, this is like indigenous land, um, which is, owned by the Black Deer family or taken care of by the Black Deer family. Um, so yeah, there's got to be a big connection there.
yeah. No, I think it's all tied together. We just have to figure out
Mm.
how,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like now we're putting all the pieces together, but they're not quite lining up just right yet. And hopefully
Right.
the tins can bring it all together.
Yeah. We'll see.
Right.
One other sort of theory I wanted to pitch, it was going back to M and her mother Patty in the cell. And they bring in Nydia, which is the therapist, right? And according to her, it is like a psychiatric break,
Mhm.
or break from reality is what I think how she describes it. And I am kind of wondering, like, yes, maybe that could be it. She could be in like a state of psychosis that's occurring because
Mhm.
of stress and everything else she's been enduring since becoming a reviver. Because she's been dealt like a really heavy hand. And so there's that side of it. But I'm also wondering, like, we know that we know now that each reviver has a passenger, and this passenger sort of represents light. And there's like a positivity to it. And there's like
Mhm.
this connection to the afterlife, right? Which is supposed to be this really beautiful thing. And like we saw Jordan and we saw um, Jesse go to their passenger, and it was a really beautiful moment, right? So I'm wondering if maybe this representation or image of Patty is actually not a break from reality, but maybe possibly the opposite of what a passenger would be, like a sort of darker entity that might also be fighting to take M. If that
I
makes
like
sense.
that. No, completely. Because I mean, when you have to have a balance. So if there's light, there's got to be dark somewhere. So, and I think with M being the trigger of the start of it all, it would make sense that that battle would be going on with her.
Mm.
So that's really cool. I like that. You're good with coming up with like the deep, like heavy
Oh, I
hitting.
love doing it. I love
I
doing
love
it.
it. So it's time for our caption this segment. We're going to look at your submissions for this week's photo. Here we go. Let's see what we got. right. And that was our Caption This submissions. Be sure to follow PopWire Net on all social platforms and keep an eye out for the posts where we ask you to caption this. All you have to do is reply to that with a caption, and we will post it in next week's episode.
All right. So now on to my Who Said It. My quote is, "You're a hate monger. I'm not helping you."
Hate monger, I'm not helping. That sounds very familiar. It's been a couple days since I watched the episode now. I'm like, I should watch it this morning. Actually don't know.
Okay. Should I just tell you?
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me.
Okay, so it was Dr. Ibrahim Ramin.
Okay.
And he's saying it to Blaine. This is in the beginning of the episode when we see he's been held captive by Blaine. And Blaine is trying to pull information out of him because he wants to learn how to kill the revivers. And what I absolutely love about Dr. Ramin and what makes him like my favorite character is that he's so good. And you can see it on his face. He's both scared, but he's also displaying so much strength too. Because he knows that at any minute, like Blaine could seriously harm him. He could kill him if he wants to. But he's not going to give up any information that is going to help him with his cause, which is to murder these people, the revivers. And yeah, Dr. Ramin, he's always been, we've talked about it before, but he's always been like the moral compass. Like to see a person representing what he's representing in this episode, I think could also be paralleled to what's happening in our world right now.
Absolutely.
Specifically in the US. And you really, like, some people wonder, like, who am I going to be when I'm put in that position? Like, am I going to help the people that are stoking hatred and fear? Or am I going to help the most vulnerable? So anyways, I love that scene.
Absolutely. Andy McQueen does a phenomenal job in the entire episode. We haven't really talked about him much, but everything, especially between him and Blaine, that's a relationship I would love to see more of in season 2. Like, because they're both religious, though they're different religions, but then Ibrahim also has the science, and he's able to balance the science and his faith really well. And I'm curious to see how and if him and Blaine are able to kind of work together in a sense where they can at least come to an understanding with faith and science and everything that's happening.
Yeah,
cool.
that brings to mind another quote from that same scene by Dr. Ramin where he says that, I'm going to paraphrase, but yes, I still have my faith, but I just don't let it cloud my judgment. So yeah, it would be a really interesting relationship to explore more in the future. I think like another thing that sort of connects me to Dr. Ramin is I too work in science. I do research as a career. And for a long time, I kind of like steered away from any kind of spirituality because it just didn't fit into my worldview anymore. I grew up sort of in a religious light household.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't prescribe to that as an adult. And I would say in the last few years, I've kind of like regained a little bit of spirituality, not necessarily like religious per se, but it is interesting trying to find how both of those worldviews can align in one's life. So yeah, it's neat to see Dr. Ramin sort of explore that for himself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have a background in speech communications, and then I'm back in school right now, actually, for marine biology. So I feel like I've got that same thing where it's like very scientific, but like not like you said, not religious, but like spiritual in a sense that everything's connected and everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
But not.
Yeah.
It's cool to see someone who on the screen who is so steadfast in both their faith and their beliefs in science.
Totally.
Love that.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to performer of the episode. Who is your favorite performer?
It had to be Romy.
Romy?
That scene with Patty, just that face to face and blood coming out, and Romy's just like screaming and yelling in her face. Like, I feel like anytime I get full body chills from something, I'm just like, that's it. That's my performer of the episode. That's my scene. That's my everything. And that's what I
Yeah.
get from that scene. So I'll say me, but like everyone in that scene really contributed to that moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of have a tie
Mhm.
between between Romy for those same reasons and with Andy for all of the reasons we just discussed. With his character, I think again going back to the scene when Dr. Ramin is telling Blaine that he's not going to be helping him, the way that Andy is able to show a display of fear and strength, like fear and bravery at the same time. It was really compelling. Yeah. And then I also kind of want to give like a shout out to Melanie Scrofano. Because when her character learns about the affair that her dad Wayne had with the mayor's wife, just the look of shock that Melanie showed for her character. And then later on when the two of them are in the car or in the truck, and then she has her moment where she kind of breaks down. She's like, "Why didn't you tell me? Like, I've been
Mhm.
blaming myself for my mother's death. Em has been blaming herself for our mother's death." Um, yeah, Melanie did a phenomenal job in
Yeah.
that scene. So,
That scene was, yeah, both of them, David James Elliott as well. It was a very crazy. I didn't see that twist coming. I didn't.
no,
And it's like, yeah, at that point, Dana's like, no, you should be sharing in the guilt that we have because this is just
right.
as much your fault as it is any of ours. Like, you
Hmm.
should have answered your phone. You could have driven home. The whole thing could have
Hmm.
either been avoided or you would have been the one driving.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough situation, right? Because, like, I think for any one of those people to heal from that tragedy and that loss of Patty, like, hopefully they don't continue to bear that responsibility on
Yeah.
their shoulders because it was an accident. You know, no
Hmm.
one could have seen that happening. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's a very real. Those are very real, like emotions and thoughts to
Mhm.
have when something like that happens in real life. So
Absolutely.
that sort of thread in the story is actually it's written well for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, and I can see that carrying over into season 2 and being at least the
Mm,
first this season, a big just contention between the girls and, women, just as they're still processing that information.
yeah, and luckily Wayne is finally, he's starting to hold himself accountable for the things that he's done. So maybe that will be the next step is he's like, you know what? Yeah, I did play my part in what happened to Patty. Yeah.
Anything else you wanna talk about in this episode? I mean, there's so many big things,
I
but
I know. I think we could leave it at that. I think that we covered most of the big stuff.
okay. Cool, cool, cool. So my recap of the episode is up on PopWire, and you can click the link below in the description to check that out.
All right, and then you guys are going to want to check out Paper Street Productions podcast for Revival. It's called Reliving Revival, and it's actually a company that's owned by Aaron B. Kuntz, which is one of the co-creators and showrunners of the show. It's a great podcast. Um, Definitely want to see that. And then, as you know, Revival airs on Thursdays at 10/9 Central on SYFY, and then episodes are then available to stream on Peacock a week after. Follow PopWire on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Are we also on Blue Sky?
I think
Or
so. I think we are. I'm not, but I think we are.
good. Either way, our handle is at popwire.net, so make sure you follow us. And then, starting with this Switch Swapped episode and any episode after this where we are talking about Revival, pay really close attention to the episodes. That's all I can say for now. All right, and we'll see you guys later this week. Bye.